Hey everybody, this is Daniel from fitnessmo.com, and today we have another strength training workout for you. This one is going to be our last day of a 3-day split, which is going to focus on shoulders and lats. So with this one, we have, again, 6 different exercises. We have 3 different groups. We're doing 3 sets per exercise per group. We're doing 8 repetitions per exercise. So before we get started with that, we always need to start out with a little bit of warm-up. So let's go ahead and get that started first. All right, so let's go ahead and start warming up those upper body muscles, specifically around those shoulders. So we're going to start off with just a regular arm swing. Those arms come across in front and back out. Just make sure every time those arms cross, a different arm is on top. So just focus on a nice slow range of motion at first, and then as you start feeling a little bit more limber, as those muscles start warming up, start trying to push a little bit more range of motion, little extra stretch towards the back. Just a few more repetitions to go. Just keep those lungs open. Like I said, try to get that nice stretch in the back. And let that arm relax. We're going to switch to your left arm. We're going to do a nice big arm circle. So try to really focus on range of motion again. Going backwards, over top, in front, as close to your body as you can. Pause at the bottom and reverse it. So again, as close to your body as you can. Stretch out back behind you. Pause at the bottom and then back around. Really focus on trying to get a really good stretch all the way around, making those muscles have to work in that maximum range of motion, that full range of motion. One more in each direction. And same thing on the other side. So same exact motion, keep it nice and close in front of your body. Stretch it behind you, pulling back as close as you can in front of your body, pause at the bottom, then back around the opposite direction, really stretching it back behind you again. Just keep alternating back and forth, keep those lungs open, keep that arm rigid. You want to have that shoulder nice and solid the entire time. Don't just pull that arm around, and definitely don't swing it. You want to do a nice controlled circle. So obviously we're doing a mass building routine, so you're definitely going to want to have those dumbbells handy. And a bench is optional but highly suggested. So if you don't have a bench, most of these things you can do seated, or for the ones we are doing seated. The rest of them you can do just laying down on the ground if you have a mat or a soft surface. Just got a couple more repetitions in each direction. One more back to front. And last one. And let it relax. All right, so now we're doing a front raise and side raise. So the front raise is going to come straight up in front. Try to stretch your arms back a little bit. Get a little bit of a lean through that chest. And then slowly back down. Pull those arms up behind you as far as you can in the back. Again, straight up overhead. Stretch them back. And then back behind you. Tight squeeze. So if you're doing this right and you're actually pulling in each direction of that maximum range of motion, you might actually start feeling those muscles start to fatigue a little bit, or at least feel like they're a little bit tired. But just nice and slow, wake them up. And that's the last one there. Bring it back and let it relax. So last one, or second to last one, is going to be in front of that body. So you're going to be bringing that arm up and out to the side, all up over your head. Cross those hands just a little bit, back down, cross them in front. Bring it back up again, and try to cross with the opposite hand. Just keep those motions going. Lungs open. Almost done. And let it relax. Our last one is going to be, that stretch is going to be for around that midsection. So we're going to do a flex forward to the side and back around. So a nice circle just around that torso. So flex that torso forward, round that back as much as you can, off to the side, back, off to the other side, forward, pause there, and then reverse direction. Off to the side, back, other side, and back forward. Try to get a good stretch around that torso. Nice and slow. Again, constantly trying to get that full range of motion. We're just trying to wake those core muscles up, because there are a few exercises we're going to be going through where those core muscles are going to have to do a lot of work to stabilize things. Just a nice slow range of motion. Keep those lungs open. And let's finish it off with a little bit of boxer shuffle, so get those feet going. We're going to switch over to that routine here in just a second, so make sure you have those weights handy. Go ahead and get those set up for the exercise we're going to be going through, as well as getting a bench or whatever you're going to be using for your platform to be doing these exercises off of. So, without further ado, we'll be starting into that routine here in just a second. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started with our routine. Like I said, we have 3 different groups to go through. So our first group is going to consist of a lateral raise, so out to the sides, up over top of your head and back down. And then we're also going to be coupling that with a pullover. And we're going to be doing a few different types of pullovers, so pay attention to the motion that I'm doing. They're going to be slightly different. So first one is going to be palms in, so palms facing in towards each other. So we have our lateral raise first. Most people are relatively weak with their lateral raise, so make sure you pick something relatively light to start out with. You can always increase for the next second or third set. All right, so I'm actually going to start off really nice and light because I want to focus on really clean form. If you're trying to build size, by all means, lift heavier, but only if you can keep that form clean. So 8 repetitions. Go ahead and start them out. Straight out to the side, all the way over top of your head. Stop right above that shoulder, don't bang those weights, then nice and slow, right back down to your sides. Just take your time. Keep those arms straight out from one another, try not to let them pull forward. Keep those core muscles nice and engaged. Halfway through. Two left. Nice full range of motion. Keep those arms just slightly bent. You got one more to go through. And let it relax. All right, so I'm going to bump up my weight just a little bit. So I'm going up to 20 pounds per hand. And we're going to be doing a pullover, like I said, with palms in. So laying on that bench, flat out back. You can do this on the ground as well, just as easily. So palms facing in towards one another. You're going to drop those hands over top of your head, as far down as is comfortable, slight bend in that elbow, and then right back up again. Just keep those lungs open. Keep those core muscles nice and solid. Keep that rib cage stationary. Try not to have a space underneath your back, or at least a very small one if you do. It's halfway. Two more. Last one. And let that relax. All right. Moving back to that lateral raise. Dropping that weight out. Now I don't have my slugs in these, so these are actually only 5 pounds a piece. I'm starting relatively light. Especially if you have any kind of shoulder issues, you're going to want to start really, really light with this. So go ahead and start on that second set, nice and slow. Bring them all the way up over top of your head. Short pause at the top, then nice and slow back down. Keep those shoulders contracted at the bottom. Don't let them completely release. Keep a little bit of tension. Keep those shoulders back. Contracting those rhomboids. Kind of pushing your chest forward just slightly. Make sure that back stays nice and flat through that lower back. So neutral spine, try not to arch your chest back. It's halfway right there. Keep those lungs open. Nice, slow, controlled motion. Especially as you start getting more and more tired, your body's going to want to start speeding this motion up because the faster you go, The more momentum you can build into it and the easier it's going to get. So the slower you go, the harder those muscles have to work. And just one more. And let that one relax. All right, drop those weights. Again, we're going to be doing that pullover. So get your weights ready for that. Go ahead and sit down. Again, palms facing in towards one another. Go ahead and lay down flat on your back. Arms start straight up above those shoulders. And start up nice and slow. Drop those hands over top of head. And right back up again. Try to keep that chest stationary. Try not to let it tilt. Keep those lungs open. Slight bend at elbow. That's halfway right there. One more. And let it relax. All right, drop those weights up. We got 2 sets done, which means we got one more of each left. So back again, a nice light weight for that lateral raise. Stand up nice and straight and tall. Palms facing forward, nice and slow. Pull those arms straight over top of your head. Pause at the top, and nice and slow, right back down. Just control that motion. Again, like I said, keep those arms pulled back away from you, so you have pretty much a straight line from wrist to wrist. You don't want those arms tilted forward at all, if you can avoid it. Depending on how much flexibility you have in that shoulder, it might be possible for you to get them completely straight back. It might not. We should always be trying to get them there. It's halfway. Just 3 more. Two left. And just one more to go. Keep everything nice and solid. And let it relax. All right, got one more of those pullovers. All right, let's go ahead and get them done. Sit down. Go ahead and lay back. Arms straight above those shoulders. And start them up. Keep those core muscles nice and tight. Arms slightly bent. Just take your time with that motion. It's halfway. Remember, like I said, as you start getting more and more tired, your body's going to have a tendency to want to speed up. So just control it. Keep that motion under control. Almost done. Just 2 left. Last one. And let it relax. All right. Go ahead and set those weights down. So if you're doing mass building, you're using really, really heavy weights, you're gonna wanna give yourself a little extra break here. 4 to 5 minutes maximum though. So go ahead and hit pause, give yourself as much rest as you need. We'll be back to start that next group in just a second. All right, so hopefully you got a little bit of a break on those muscles so they're not feeling quite so tired. We're going to go ahead and start into our second group here, and we're going to be hitting those lat and shoulder muscles again, of course. So we're going to be starting off with a shoulder press. There's a traditional shoulder press. You can do this either seated or standing. And then we're going to be doing another pullover, but with a slightly different modification on those arms. So go ahead and get your weight for your shoulder press. We'll do that one first. So I'm going to be using 20 pounds. Actually, let's start right there. So like I said, you can do this either seated or standing. I'm going to do mine seated. You just want to make sure you keep that back really nice and flat. Don't let your chest arch backwards, as you're going to have a tendency to do, especially as you start getting tired. So go ahead and get those dumbbells up to that rack position. So out to the side. Let them drop down as low as is comfortable. You want to try to keep that wrist right above that elbow the entire time. So nice and slow, press it straight over top of your head. In with a full extension. Don't let those dumbbells touch. Then nice and slow, right back down again. Pause as low as is comfortable, and then right back up. So when you're doing this motion, you want to keep it nice and slow under control. You don't want to feel like you have momentum to the point where those dumbbells want to swing together. Depending on how wide those dumbbells are, they might touch. But if you have, depending on how wide your shoulders are as well, if you have relatively wide shoulders and narrow dumbbells, they shouldn't ever touch. That's halfway. Just keep it going. Keep those lungs open. You want to try to keep those elbows back, almost to the point where you can't really see those arms if you're looking straight forward. One more. And let that relax. All right, go ahead and drop those dumbbells down for a second. We're doing our next round of pullovers, and with this one, we're doing a palm. Let's see, we did palm in for the first one, so we're doing palm up for this one. So laying flat on your back, palms facing up towards the ceiling. So I'm going to try to use the same amount of weight I did last time. Each set of these we go through, they get more and more difficult to keep that same weight. So we'll see how far I get. All right, so laying flat down on your back again. Almost identical position for that pullover we did last round. This time, like I said, those palms will be facing up. So start with those palms down towards those feet. Drop those hands back over your head. And then right back over top of that chest. So you might feel like you have a little bit different range of motion on here, and that is because you do. As soon as you rotate that shoulder, it's going to feel a little bit different. Again, slight bend in that elbow. Keep that bicep and tricep contracted nice and tight. Keeping that elbow supported, as well as all those muscles to your chest, back, and shoulder to keep that shoulder joint controlled, nice and solid. It's halfway right there. Two more. You can already tell I'm probably going to need to drop for my next set to keep this form clean. One left. And let it relax. All right, drop those dumbbells. Shake those arms out for just a second. We got another round, of course, of those shoulder press. I think I'm going to try to stay the same weight on that shoulder press. So again, 20 pounds per hand. Go ahead and grab those dumbbells. Let's try it again. So again, nice straight back. Get those dumbbells up to your sides and press straight over top of your head. Keep those lungs open. Don't hold your breath. That hand should be relatively relaxed. You don't need a death grip on that dumbbell. Just enough to control it. And as you press up, like I said, that wrist should be right above that elbow most of the time. So that bicep and tricep should only be slightly activating for control. You shouldn't feel one or the other of them really working heavily. Almost done, just 3 more to go. One left. that one relax. All right, drop those dumbbells. Shake those arms out for a second. Go ahead and select whatever weight you're going to be using for your pullovers. Like I said, I think I'm going to switch down a little bit lighter just so I can keep that form a little bit cleaner. All right, let's go ahead and get those pullovers done. Flat on your back, palms facing down towards those toes. Drop those hands over top of your head. And right back up again. Nice and slow. Keep those abdominal muscles contracted nice and tight. Keep that lower back flat against that mat. Don't let that chest tilt. It's halfway. Try to get as much range of motion as you can. Now, as you can see, or if you can see from the side angle, I don't have my dumbbells touching one another. You can keep just a little tiny bit of a gap. Makes it a lot harder to do, but it also forces those arms to work independently 100%. And let that one relax. Whew. All right. Again, let those arms relax for just a second. We've got one more set of each of those exercises. Starting back over with that shoulder press here in just a second. Adjust that weight if you need to. Otherwise, stick with it. Try to get through every single one of these repetitions nice and solid. This is your last round, so make sure it counts. Try. This might get a little dirty, but I'm going to try to keep it at 20. All right. Nice flat back. Keep those core muscles contracted nice and solid. Neutral spine. Arms pulled back nice and wide. And press it up. Take your time. Nice full range of motion. Keep that wrist right above that elbow. If you're not used to doing these types of exercises, traditional strength training exercises, I highly suggest doing them in front of the mirror so you can watch your form. What it feels like you're doing and what you're actually doing is often very different. Got just a couple more repetitions. And let it relax. Whew. All right, back to 15 pounds for my pullover. My arms shake out for just a second, get the blood back into them. All right, let's get that last set done. Grab those dumbbells, lay flat out on your back, palms down towards those toes, and start them up. Keep those dumbbells away from one another. Halfway. Keep those core muscles nice and tight. Keep those lungs open. One more. And let them relax. All right. Set those dumbbells down. Again, 4 to 5 minutes rest maximum. Go ahead and hit pause. Give yourself as much rest as you need. I'll be right back. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our last group. Again, by this point, those muscles are probably getting pretty tired, a little bit sore maybe even. So make sure you adjust your weight accordingly. We're going to be doing an Arnold press, which is a form of an overhead press. And we're doing one more style of a lateral pullover. This one's gonna be on the side. Laying on the ground is the best for this one, so I'm gonna be kicking my bench out of the way for this. So first, we're going to be doing that Arnold press. So go ahead and grab a weight for this. Like I said, it's a variation of a shoulder press. It's a little bit more difficult, so if you've never done it before, make sure you use a slightly lighter weight. So I'm going to be trying to go through this with 15 pounds. Again, you're going to sit down, nice flat back, just like you would for a shoulder press, but you're going to start with those hands right in front of your chest. So palms facing in towards your chest, elbows tucked in nice and close to your sides. As you press up, you're going to rotate your palms, so you're going to start palm facing in, and as you come up, you're going to end palm facing out. So nice and slow back down again. Stop in front of your chest. You want that palm pretty much right in front of that shoulder. And then nice and slow, right back up again. The key with this one is to keep those elbows in really nice and close. So you don't want to do a motion out to the side. You want to do a motion really nice and close. So that's halfway right there. Just keep that motion going. Again, keep that back nice and flat. Don't let your chest tilt back. You want to make sure you're staying as straight up and down as you can. Just two more. And let that relax. All right, go and drop that weight off. Like I said, we're going to be doing a side pullover for the next one. This is another modification of a pullover, so you can be laying flat on your side. I kick this out of the way for just a second. So we're doing one arm at a time. I'm going to try to do this with 15 pounds. It's a little bit of a weird motion, so we'll see how well it goes. So laying down flat on your side. Start with one arm straight above your shoulder. Try to keep your shoulders stacked, so one right on top of the other. Nice and slow, you're going to drop that hand over top of your head and then pull it down, stopping right above that shoulder again. So as far as you can, down towards the ground, slight bend in that elbow, right back up. You want that palm facing forward. Just try to stabilize that shoulder as best you can. Try to keep that arm as straight as possible. That elbow is going to try to bend on you a little bit. In fact, I'm probably going to drop weight for that next set. Let's do three more. Two left. And let that relax. Go and drop it. We're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. Make sure I have enough room here. Should be able to make that work. All right, so again, shoulders stacked. Nice and slow, palm forward. Drop that hand over your head and right back up. Slight bend in that elbow. Concentrate on that form. Two more. Last one. And let it relax. All right. Grab that bench again. We're going back to that Arnold press. So like I said, I'm going to try to use something a little bit lighter and make sure I keep that form nice and clean. Just again, straight up and down. Start with those palms facing in towards that shoulder. Elbows tucked to your sides. Nice and slow, press it up. Rotate. In with that palm facing forward, but keep those elbows in nice and close. Now, if you notice from a side angle, you can probably see me leaning back just a little bit, especially as my hands come in front of my body. That's normal. I'm just counteracting the weight in my hands. You just want to make sure that you do that by tilting from your hips rather than from your lower back or chest. So you want to keep it nice and solid the entire time. Keep that torso locked in from those hips all the way up to that chest. Last one. And let it relax. All right. Drop these off. Get my bench out of the way here. All right, we're gonna try these side pullovers one more time. So shoulders stacked. Again, arms straight above that shoulder to begin. Palm facing forward. And start up, nice and slow over your head, as far as is comfortable. Then pull it back up, straight above that shoulder. Keep that form nice and clean. Almost done, just two more. Last one. And let that relax. All right, same thing on the other side. All right, shoulders stacked. And start again, nice and slow over top of your head. Ooh, I'm gonna hit. And nice and slow back over top. Take your time, just focus on that range of motion. Focus on that form, try to keep that arm as straight as you can. Slight bend though, don't lock it out. Two more. And let that relax. All right. That's 2 sets down of each. Those arms shake out for just a second. We got one more round of each one of these. Starting back over that Arnold press. So sit down, back nice and straight. Bring those dumbbells up. Let's get that last set of these done. So nice and slow, press them up, keep those elbows pulled in nice and tight. And nice and slow back down. Lungs open. So the key to this, or the goal of this, is to keep those shoulders, or those elbows, inside shoulder width. So as you come down, try to immediately pull those elbows in nice and close, straight down in front of your body, before you start pressing them right back up again. That's number 6. Got 2 more to go. Last one. And let that relax. All right, we got just that last exercise to go. pullover done one side at a time. So start again, shoulders stacked, arms straight above that shoulder, nice and slow, drop it out, slight bend in that elbow. Keep those lungs open, don't hold your breath. Halfway. Just two more. Last one. And let it relax. Same thing on the other side. Last one. All right, shoulders stacked, hands straight above that shoulder, and start up. Last set. Try to keep that form nice and clean. Try to keep that arm in a nice straight line with that body. Try to let it dip forward or swing forward at all. Halfway. Just keep pushing through them. Almost done. Two left. Last one. And let it relax. All right, go set that down. We're gonna go straight through into that cool down. So we need to focus on getting those muscles we just hit. A lot of those muscles were assisting, so we need to get those as well. So we're gonna start out with your bicep. So if you have an open piece of wall, fingers facing back behind you, open that chest up as wide as you can. If you want to get a little bit more through your forearm, just step sideways on it slightly. Just keep those lungs open and relax. And same thing on the other side. Go and switch. Fingers again facing back behind you. Open up. You can do this in a door frame as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be an open wall. Just need somewhere where you can flex those fingers just a little bit, flex that hand, as well as opening that chest up, just something you can push against. So even a heavy piece of furniture would work as well. And let that one relax. With your arm across in front, grab that elbow. Pull it in as close to your neck as you can, as close as it's comfortable. Same thing on the other side. Grab that elbow, pull across. And let that relax. We're gonna get those shoulders into that tricep. So left hand first, bring it back to that same hand as shoulder. Grab that elbow with that right hand and pull across. Should feel this the outside of your shoulder up into that deltoid up through here. Might even feel a little bit into that lat as well as you pull across. And let it relax. Same thing on the other side. Same hand to shoulder. Grab that elbow and pull across. And let that relax. Next one, we're going to do to try to stretch out the inside of that shoulder just a little bit again. If you have something like a high kitchen counter or the back of a couch or something like that to lean against, by all means do that. I don't have anything quite high enough in here, so I'm going to have to kneel down for this one. So you're going to kneel down, hands out in front of you against something nice and flat. You're just going to press your head down through those arms, trying to stretch underneath that chest, underneath that shoulder. You're going to feel this not only in your chest, but you might feel it through those shoulder blades as well. Just kind of move those arms around just a little bit, open those shoulders and close them, just to get a little bit different stretch on it. Let that one relax. One more. Feet just about shoulder width apart. You can bend those knees if those hamstrings are really, really tight. We're not really focusing on those hamstrings quite yet, but if you want to, you can. Arms back behind you. Let gravity just kind of pull them down, as well as trying to squeeze them down as well. I'm just trying to get as much range of motion out as you can. Should feel this to the front of that shoulder. You don't need a huge stretch on this. Don't have anybody push down on your hands or anything like that. That front of that shoulder is incredibly vulnerable, so don't put any extra weight on it other than just body weight and a little extra pull from your own muscles. And let that relax. All right, that is our last stretch, which means this workout is complete. I hope you guys liked it. That is our last day of that 3-day split with that chest and triceps, back and biceps routine. So this should get everything through that upper body. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.